No, you can leave it on, dude.
As
Fuck
much
that.
as I don't need it. It's not. I'm just a pussy. It doesn't. It's not that.
Look at me. I'm dropping an F-bomb for like a couple seconds in.
Yeah, and I just said pussy. Yeah, we're all
I
doing.
just,
We're
all
all
right, yeah,
that.
that's fair.
That
That's
and
fair.
straight A's.
And we lost everybody. Everybody's gone.
That's a record. That's a record. I will take it.
I'm trying to think about how to change the. I just realized I wanted to change the name and what's on the. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, what are we doing? I gave it a like. I'm the first like, yay.
Hey, we got 2 people in here. You're the only
Corporate
you and
shield.
someone else. I'm pretty sure we've got. I like UK. Said greetings from the UK. Hope you.
Oh, hello. We know who the other mystery guest is. Good. Hello, I like it UK. Welcome. You are the first actual viewer.
Yeah, well, no, we also have Beresford. Greetings from the UK. Happy New Year. Yeah, it was a good Christmas, decent, quiet New Year. Enjoyed the shit out of everything. I had no problems. We've started resorting to like having plans for New Year's Eve and then not following through with them, which is actually kind of my favorite style of New Year's Eve. I did put on a little bit of man boob.
Oh yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I got some gut. I got some gut coming.
I bought a bike trainer. So that's the thing that allows you to use your bike indoors and train with it.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Like the old stationary bikes, but you can just put any bike in it.
So, and it hooks to an app that basically turns riding your bike into a video game. And I need to get going on that. I need to get back to my less boobish self. Good afternoon from Ventura, California. That's Pazial Gala. That's a cool name. That's a cool name. Jerker, how's it going, buddy? The first jerk of the new year.
Oh, Jesus. Oh,
wait,
man.
First jerker of the new year.
Oh, man. You had, dude. Oh, God.
Not going to happen live on stream. Don't anybody worry.
That was great. Well, how to know it's live and unedited and uncut is you get moments like that. That was great.
Rick on Mike, happy Friday. Yeah, you know what? I'm still in that phase. Not that I am incredibly synced up with the days of the week, other than knowing what my kid is doing for synchronized swimming. But after Christmas and New Year, I'm very much out of phase for what day of the week it is.
Yeah.
It's just been brutal. So yeah, happy Friday indeed. OG Quasi, greetings from Germany. We've got another Germany fella or person.
Welcome.
No idea. Somehow I lost 4 kilograms. We'll probably find it sometime. Yeah, I dropped a bit. It went from my gut to my butt, though. So dropping weight, not as not the best thing in the world. Yeah, I just Christmas. I kind of just let off the pedal, and I need to put my foot back on the pedal. Good God! Did you get anything good for Christmas, Dylan? I got nothing. Nothing of.
I got. Oh my God! You're an adult when I got this freaking bitchin' new garbage can, man. It is sick. Yeah. It is like one of those, like it's got a sensor on it, just opens, and it's huge. We have our kitchen garbage can. I don't know. We're like yay big. Like if you put a Tim Hortons box in it, it's half gone kind of garbage can.
Yeah.
So honestly, like it's, you underestimate sometimes like these things that are, not a super glamour. Well, I mean, it is actually quite a sexy piece of technology. They did good on the industrial design front. We'll say that.
Nice.
It's amazing. Got
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I got some ghost pepper salt, and other than that, just some good essentials. Some good stuff.
Nothing like getting excited over a garbage can, man. That's awesome.
Yeah,
good garbage can. Yeah, there's a few like adult gifts that are just great. Does it have XLR?
Well, because there's stuff you use every day, right? And so as much as it's like I'm not inclined to invest in an upgrade in that department, but when you notice it actually quite quickly and regularly.
It's one of the things my wife and I buy for each other usually at Christmas is the stuff that we don't really want to buy the rest of the year.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna go good on something, go good on it at Christmas. So. Pazial Gala says Christmas season in Philippines lasts 4 months. I would be a freaking tank if Christmas lasted 4 months. I'm sorry, man. I would have multiple necks.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're just at like a 2 weeks ish mark, and even ours, can go like. I mean, I think for the highlight for me is I got blasted on New Year's Eve. I got pretty tankard. Responsibly, in the comfort of family and friends, obviously.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. No
yeah, that,
doubts,
that
man.
was been a while. Been a while, and the recovery is longer than it was when I was in my 20s. That is for sure.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my buddy who isn't known for like rapid fluctuations of weight, but he's a guy I was biking with over the summer. He gained 15 pounds over Christmas. I'm scared to look.
Jesus.
It's easy to do, man. Especially as you get to your 40s, just you pay for everything.
Yeah.
Ernesto, my favorite tech, how's it going? Yo, cheers, man. Does it have XLR inputs? Is my favorite question of the day. OG Quasi, your garbage can. Is it XLR or USB?
Oh man, I mean, it's big enough. I should turn it into like a sleeper cell patch bay. Just like, I want to plug in some instruments in my dining room, and the garbage can's right there. Let's just plug it in there. That'd be wild. I've always dreamed of that. I've always dreamed of having a house that just has little patch panels in every room. So if you don't want it to have an impromptu record session, be like, "All right, you take the bathroom, I'll take the first bedroom."
Singer
just
goes in the bathroom. Yeah. I thought about doing that with this studio when I moved in, was actually removing kind of the lower quarter of the wall all the way around and putting patch bays in.
Nice.
I was so busy I didn't have time, but I definitely got socks for Christmas, and socks that fit. It's so important. I have big feet, but I also have big calves. So if I get socks that don't fit, it just hurts the calves. So in the pews, Christmas just ended the other day for Catholics, 12 days of Christmas. I never followed that. I never followed exactly what the days of Christmas were. I know what to give people on the 12 days of Christmas. It's in a song.
Yeah. That's it. I've heard the song so many times, and I'm embarrassed that I remember the things, but what numbers they go beside, that is not so available in my head for some reason.
I like One Day of Christmas just because family goes away after it. No, and it's nothing against family, obviously, but I get back to my routine pretty quick. Like this year has been rough getting back to my routine because I've got a few things that have been kicking off. I'm doing video for Minds of Madness now. So I'm the video editor for a whole new big YouTube channel. And
super fun.
Oh yeah, isn't it? It's just busy as hell now. So yeah, it's been really hard getting back into the swing of things, trying to incorporate work into my daily routine. So I don't think I could handle more than a couple days and then just back to it. So today we're talking about Dylan, new year, new gear. NAB NAM coming up in 2 weeks, I think it is. It's usually the last week of January, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
I got the passes for NAB, or at least I've talked to them. It's going to be going through. So you will be coming regardless of whatever happens.
Oh yeah.
So it's going to be NAB this year.
Tag team that shit.
I'm starting to wonder. It's been a quiet couple months. Like Rode's been making way with like the Rodecaster Video S and all that stuff, and I know you can't prognosticate based on what your role is. But I'm really curious to see what 2026 is going to throw at us.
2026, and not just with group stuff, not just with FE as we would call it, the Friedman Group. But I think there's lots of stuff so here's like something that I've noticed, now paying a lot of attention to products, when massive slews, and a lot of people already know this, but when massive slews of a particular line of product from a particular company go like unilaterally on sale, for the same amount in pretty much every store, that's an indication that like an update is coming. And there's a few players that I have noticed, not naming any names, that there's some old gear that's like 10 plus years old, that is, possibly due for a new generation, refresh, as it were. And some of that stuff is going to be, I believe, updated. And so I think we're going to see a year of some stuff that maybe is a little long in the tooth,
All right.
Maybe some of the PreSonus stuff, maybe some of the Allen and Heath
Oh
stuff.
God, PreSonus is so long in the tooth, man. What their AR series
Yeah, well, the
is
problem is
what
like I
12
know
years old.
looking like they just released a new iteration of the Studio Live mixer, and this is what I had a conversation with like a ton of people about this. So, if you don't, I don't know, are you familiar with the Studio Live, the big ones like the
No,
24?
well, somewhat, but not big time.
But you've seen them,
Yeah, yeah,
right? You've seen pictures of them probably.
yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So those appeal to there is definitely a crowd for the Studio Live. Studio Live has an audience that love its workflow. The new Studio Live is the same UI. It's the same button
Yeah.
layout. It's a minor facelift with a little bit. I think they've got integrated Dante. I think that's the big kind of under the hood advancement. But other than that, in terms of like what the mixer is, how it works, its whole kind of design language is exactly the same.
Yeah,
And
there's some
so
aesthetic upgrades to it
yeah,
for sure.
they will get the customers that are current Studio Live customers that are loyal to the brand, that want an upgrade, that want a replacement. Maybe they've got a Studio Live that's like 10 years old. Fair enough. But they're not gonna like poach any new people. Sticking to like all the things that people didn't like about Studio Live, like the kind of segregated nature of the control scheme of it.
Yeah.
That's still a thing. So if you're not a fan of Studio Live then, you're not going to be a fan of Studio Live now. So it kind of makes me laugh, like as far as like the next generation of thinking about the concept, like thinking in
Well,
those kind of Appleian terms when it comes to product evolution, right?
what confuses me though is Fender bought PreSonus a couple years back.
Yep.
And I figured once Fender did that, they were going to update it kind of by, kind of to relaunch it, not necessarily relaunch it, but create some more chatter around PreSonus. And I feel like Studio Live has kind of fallen flat on its relaunch.
Well, because it was kind of for a while, and I don't know if it's still this way. I'm on their site now, but it was kind of meant to be the main kind of companion for Studio One,
Yeah.
right? Like the Studio One software, and so it's kind of funny that's fallen by the wayside. But even like I don't know, I'm looking at Allen and Heath, like live soundies love the SQ series. They
Yep.
love the SQ mixer. That is a favorite to many. I know guys in town that are the festival guys and the big, touring concert locally in town, Blues Fest guys, and they love that thing. Look at the interface. It looks like something from 2010.
Yep.
Which doesn't feel that long ago, but I don't know. It
been a
feels
while, yeah.
old to me. You probably haven't seen it. I spent a good actually week with a fully loaded one and a base level one. And it
Allen
worked.
Heath?
Yeah, the SQ5 is what I had two of them. To do
Yeah, I think I
some.
remember you telling me that.
Yeah, and so they're both the same. The only difference was one of them had all of that. You can get add-on plugins for them, and then
Yeah.
so that one of them had all that fully loaded, and the other one was just the base model.
It doesn't look too bad. It's a
Good
little...
mixer. I think my favorite thing about it is the signal LED. A lot of mixers, like especially analog mixers, like some of the Mackie ones, will have like a single light that tells you what the signal is,
Yeah.
like a single single light for the signal, or like a signal clip kind of thing. So the Allen Heath one is RGB. So when the level's
nice.
when the level's super quiet, it's like dark blue, and then it graduates to like an aqua, and then a green, and then orange, red, orange. Yeah, like it goes through the full spectrum of colors basically. And so when you're looking at those lights at a glance, even though it's only one LED, it gives you like that's a ton of different ranges of decibels. And if I remember, like, between 30 and 40 dB is aqua. Looking at those lights actually gives me a lot more information. So I thought that was kind of cool. It looks kind of cool when you've got all these RGB LEDs flickering to the music.
Just going to catch up really quick. NAB or NAB? I still do both. I'm a little bit more inclined to say NAB.
Come on.
Because I've been practicing to say it, but I still throw NAB in there too, because just to piss people off.
You turncoat. You were in the NAB clan.
But no, it's just based on what I've known, man. Like I'm getting yelled at again this week for because I made the joke about Neumann.
What did you say? What did you say about Neumann?
Well, the joke was in the video where it was the all the engineers talking about the difference between the U87AI and the original U87, and they all had different interpretations of what they heard. And to start that clip off, the guy says the Neumann U87 and the Neumann U87AI. And I'm like, what the hell is he saying? And that was and everybody's like, that's the actual way you're supposed to say it. That's the official pronunciation of Neumann. I'm like, dude, things are spoken differently in every part of the world. The term solder, come on, man. We can't go through this.
Solder.
Aluminium. NAB, NAB.
Aluminum.
Oh, man. My old co-host, do you remember Caroline?
Yes, I do.
Yes. I'm pretty confident she isn't watching this, but if she is, she's going to be outraged that I'm telling you this. One of the bits I did on the radio was talking about how words that we say differently in the U.S. or the North America versus the rest of the world. And aluminium came up, and she flat out told me live on air, nobody says aluminium. Nobody. That's not a thing.
Incorrect. That would be incorrect.
I was like, I have people on my YouTube channel that will disagree with you.
I work with engineers in different parts of the world.
I know. Yeah. Anyways, it was hilarious.
Like,
live on air too. Yeah. Outsider Jess, got myself a Roland Bridgecast 1. That's an awesome pickup, and a Vocaster 1 on Amazon. You will prefer the Roland Bridgecast 1 over the Vocaster 1. Not going to lie, but I mean, that's an awesome pickup. The Bridgecast 1 is actually very good. Just don't make it the Bridgecast X. Just saying. I got the Vocaster before they raised it back up to 60. How cheap was it? This is usually $60. Anyways. Pigtown Sports, what's up? Guy at my work sold me a perfect Rodecaster Pro 2 for $200. Damn. I have the Duo, couldn't even pass that up, but I barely used the Duo to its potential, debating on keeping it. I mean, if I were you, let's sell the Duo. You've got basically everything you need in the Rodecaster Pro 2, so that way you don't end up falling behind if you need that again sometime. Soldier. OG Quasi, you could argue that Neumann as a German brand is supposed to be pronounced the German way, but I don't care. But that's the problem with pronunciation.
I don't know, man. If I have a company and you even are in another country and you know any pronunciation, like you know about my name at all, I'm flattered, right? Like that's how I would look at that. I mean, I don't know, Neumann, maybe they're a little pretentious.
Well, no,
I certainly understand.
This is the way I look at it, and I look at it from a marketing perspective. And the one thing the guy brought up was Braun. So Braun, the personal shavers you can buy.
Braun. Yeah.
It's Braun. But we pronounce it in North America because of the marketing. So nobody's going to call it by its original name in North America because of marketing. Same thing with Neumann. All marketing I have ever seen in North America is Neumann.
Yep, Neumann is pronounced Neumann, right? I mean, it's a thing. Car companies go through it, right?
Yep.
Hyundai, right? It's supposed to be Hyundai like Sunday. That's the saying. It's Hyundai. But
yeah,
there are lots of people in different parts that are probably going to say, you're an idiot. You're fucking stupid. It's obviously Hyundai. It's like, for you it is, sir. Good. Have a nice day.
But I mean, there's a million different ways you can kind of cut that too, because there's tons of words that we just mispronounce on a daily basis. I was just thinking of one and my mind went completely blank. I'm sure it'll come back around to me.
Was it Whalemort? Was it Whalemort?
No.
Got to go to Whalemort.
The hell was it? It was, Adidas.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah.
Another one where I'm sorry, I've watched commercials for Adidas and they call it Adidas. So bite me. $40. That's awesome. It's just huge. Yeah. The Rodecaster Pro 2 being bigger, but when you need it to be bigger, it sucks when you don't have the extra room. I literally only use the Rodecaster Pro 2 now. I don't go back to the Duo. I have the Duo. I can use it if I need space, but I don't need space. So I just go with the Rodecaster Pro 2. It's easier for me. Pazial Gala says, I want to get into voiceover training. Should I get a USB condenser mic to start with? What's your opinion? You can get whatever you want to start voiceover training.
Yeah, you can get decent voiceover mics that are
Yep.
USB. I wouldn't get the cheapest USB mic.
No, no.
I would get a large diaphragm condenser USB mic. Is
Yes.
probably what I would opt for.
Um,
It depends
but
what your voiceover. If you're doing podcast voiceover, the MV7X
yeah,
might actually be.
I mean, yeah, you'll be fine. MV7, Pod Mic, USB. Um, there's a bunch of them, but the most important thing you can get for doing any voiceover is first treatment on your walls or a treated room, and second is training. Training includes coaching. Coaching is not free. You're learning how to act when you're doing voiceover.
Yep.
You're not just talking. And I'm actually going through this with Minds of Madness as we're working on using a teleprompter and doing teleprompter stuff and reading the way you talk, and learning how to do that is so difficult and it takes so long. So train, keep doing it. If you can get some coaching, you really want to get coaching. So
Man, I remember that. I remember that when we were in college, like doing breaks on air, scripted breaks, which I think is the good way to start. That is when you're not on camera, and you don't have that dimension. But just there were people that absolutely were atrocious. Like if they were reading, you knew that they were reading.
Yep.
Like they could not hide that they were reading. And then there's like I always really tried. Like that was something that I figured that was challenging right from the get go. And it's like, okay, I get it. And act and kind of follow this real strict kind of thing, and it is a skill.
Yeah, there's like I go back and I look at some of the videos that even I did from 2 years ago, and wow, I'm like, I can see myself reading. 2 years ago, I looked at it and I was like, wow, I'm good. No, I was not good 2 years ago, and I'm hoping in 2 years I'll be able to look at this stuff and go, wow, I really needed work on that. But yeah, like the learning process of performing words off a script is so important. The best story I have about that, and this all comes back to it's voiceover, it's podcasting, it's all this stuff. Way back when I was on air and I was working out of Brockville for a station called Bob FM, and me and my co-host Mark, we had some Olympians come in from the Summer Olympics, and they were from the Brockville area, and we interviewed them. And my bright idea, because I was a dumbass morning show host, was to challenge them to their sports. And that was it. Like, we were going to try their sports and see if we could beat them at it. That catch was, though, is they were going to try to beat us at what we're good at, being on air. And so we literally did this where we faced off. One was shot put and the other one was rowing.
Nice.
And we sucked at that, like hardcore.
Nice.
But then we put them on air and they couldn't even utter a sentence. They had no concept of turning on a microphone and going. They had no concept of it. Whereas,
man, I remember. Do you remember the first time the switch went on for you, like your third week in first semester? What was going through your gut and just mind, and when that first, like, it's silence and you're taking it over?
First thing, it made me feel like I was on stage playing music. That feeling you get when you're about to hit the first note, that anticipation that's kind of blowing up in your chest.
Here it comes. Yeah.
Here it comes. Let's do this. Yeah, and it's one of those things that with shot put, when I was trying shot put, I knew to put it up here. I knew the basic balance. I knew the basic move that I was supposed to do. And no matter how bad I was at it, I still had a physical ability to start the process. When they tried it, they had no ability to even start the process. So it's when you're looking at doing stuff like voiceover or podcasting or all this stuff, is don't think that it's easy for you to just all of a sudden one day hit record. And that's part of that, is whether you're doing voiceover, whether you're doing, getting into YouTube, getting into podcasting. Like, one of my favorite things is watching some gamers on YouTube start out, because they have no fucking clue what to talk about. And you see them just running their mouth and they have no filter. And it's just, but the worst part about all of what I'm saying is the only way you get better is by starting and sounding like shit. That's the
Well,
only way
like
to get
that's
better.
any hobby, right? I mean, you've got to witness yourself being terrible to get the
Yep.
reward of seeing yourself good. Like that is what you pay in order to get good at something. Is you have to bear yourself being atrocious at it, and that's cooking, that's playing an instrument, that's voiceover,
Yep.
that's learning
Any
how to do
skill, man.
that writing a song, man. I like the first song I ever wrote was like I can't even read it now without almost vomiting. Like it's
Yep.
so disgusting, but I'm like, you got to do it. You got to do it. And I hope 10 years from now, I look at what I was doing now and I think that what I'm doing now is equally as disgusting. Again, we talked about this. It's the whole kind of growth thing, right? Like I want to hate tomorrow what I did today because that means I learned something.
Yeah. Oh, Hassan says Microsoft has 2 pronunciations for Azure.
Yeah,
Interesting.
Azure. I've always
Azure?
called it Azure. And honestly, there's probably there's hundreds of pronunciations probably. And I remember in my last job when I was dealing with like IT people, that was, oh, yeah, Azure. Yeah, we're gonna put it in Azure. I'm like, Azure,
What's
Azure. What
Azure?
is Azure? And I was like, oh, okay, all right, nice. Um,
Azure.
yeah, Azure. Yeah.
Pigtown, are you still Mac? Yes. My whole process of editing production goes through Mac. The only thing I do on Windows is game. So, and
I might
I
be
do
going
it.
there soon, man. I'm on the cusp of possibly buying a new like $3,000 Matty card for this computer, and I'm kind of like sitting there going, that $3,000 Mac. I
Yeah.
mean, either way, I'm going to need to spend money on an interface, which I'm fine to do, but there's so many more options of good, reliable interfaces when you're dealing with Mac than there is with PC. Unfortunately, a lot of PC drivers are absolute garbage.
Yes.
That are
All of
written.
them are, I would say.
Yeah, well, and so like a good rule of thumb, one of the companies that obviously, like I haven't really had a ton of issues with like the Rode drivers, right? I mean, I've used the Rodecaster driver, I've used it with the Duo, I've used it with the main RCP2, I've used it with the RCV and the Streamer X, and it works pretty well. But I always consistently, no matter what interface I seem to be using, as long as it's like a USB connected interface, I get clicks and pops. I get buffer underrun issues. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. Obviously, there's stuff grabbing at the CPU that is claiming to be a higher priority than streaming my fucking audio. I'm a little salty about it, obviously.
Oh, by the way, just so you know, I'm pretty sure Tyler from Minds of Madness is here. He says, "Yeah, I don't read as well as you do, dude. That's not the point. You do
I don't know,
awesome.
Tyler. I've heard little your read it. You do a pretty
Yeah,
good. I mean, it takes
it's
a few hits, but I mean, I have the same shit.
but
I've done
it's
expensive
also
spots, and
but
sometimes
it's
it's just the flow.
yeah, but it's also just like because you've been reading scripts for 8 years, you know how to read.
Yeah.
Some people sit down in front of a script and they just their brain just like goes through it almost like a shopping list, right?
Yeah, it's
um
acting. You have to act.
yep.
Voiceover work of any kind. Even some people differentiate like, well, voiceover is just doing like an announcer bit, and voice acting is being a character. You're being a character no matter what. Doesn't matter what you're
Yep.
doing. You're being a character. If you're being an announcer, you're being a certain guy with a lot of bravado.
Yep.
Or you're there's lots of different characters you end up playing. I remember Jesus doing commercial spots, even the most dry, no music bed, 30 seconds of
Hey.
information from an IT company. There's a character to that.
Yep. Well, and it's funny too because like working with Tyler with Minds of Addis, moving over to video, it's one of these things where it's such a different beast from audio to video
Oh my God.
that
Night and day.
there's new processes you've got to learn in the read. There's new things, but at the same time you still have to perform. And like there's no shade being thrown whatsoever. I wouldn't let you go live if you looked horrible doing it, but I can guarantee you everybody doing it is going to look back and go, ugh, every time. So in 6 months, you're going to see massive progress. In a year, you're going to see massive progress. And no matter how long you've been doing it, you go back and you listen to some of your original podcasts. If anybody here has a podcast, go listen to your 10th episode and try not to shit your diaper with embarrassment. It's just one of the things that, like, it's such a learning process. And again, the only learning you can ever do is by doing. So
Yep.
I love content that sounds like a cool interview. Yeah, I'm a big fan. Also, Jess says that's still me. I'm 6 years in. Yes, you should be. You should never consider yourself to be at peak ever. You are always learning. You're always getting better.
Yeah, you're always growing, and if you feel like you've grown adequately in some direction, then pick another direction and start growing. Like, you cannot grow unilaterally at once. You kind of have to pick directions, evolve that, and then kind of work. I don't know. It's funny, man. There, in like a lot of RPGs, right? You level up and then you get like whatever, like a skill point that you can throw in a category. It's kind of like that. I mean, it's honestly a little bit analogous. Like, I think, and yeah, I mean, obviously, like I can, spend 4 hours playing the 12 string and getting good at that skill, and then go and make a meal I've never made before and evolve those two skills. But like, each hour can only be dedicated to one thing at a time, right? And so you've got to kind of pick how to divide up your time, because you can't spend all your time learning. I mean, we have obligations outside of just learning stuff.
By the way, there's an interesting one here from Rick on Mike. I lost my VO business due to AI. I made the mistake of specializing in voicing online learning modules.
Dude, that's shitty. And Aiden and I both empathize with that. I mean, we would talk. How long have we been talking about this? Remember AI voices? We're like, yep, people are gonna lose their jobs. This is gonna absolutely take away people's livelihoods. Because the low-hanging, well, even sometimes the mid-hanging fruit now. Like I'm hearing ads for major businesses now that are featuring AI VO, and I'm like, what? Like I heard a Tim Hortons ad. I'm like, fuck you, Tim Hortons. You can afford to hire a voice actor. Eat shit.
Yeah, but why do they? Why do they? So if they need to put out a 15-second short on YouTube, if they need a 6-second ad for YouTube, why? Why bother? It's a 6-second ad.
Well, and they're more than happy to pay as much money as possible for the reach, but for the actual quality of the creative, it's like it might as well be free. If it could be fully free, these major corporations would love it if creative had absolutely no value.
Yeah.
It's wild.
I almost got in. So when I was kind of really trying to figure out where I was going to go after losing my radio job and integrating something into this, and I ended up really kind of leaning into podcast editing and video editing and all that stuff. I was considering doing learning modules. That was actually the thing that I was like, I'm gonna try to get into that, but I didn't have the heart to really start running down the business that most people end up having to do.
I still want to, man. This year I'm gonna get out at least. I said a little funny side story on that. Where EQ course is coming. That's the closed notes. EQ course is coming on how to do equalization, at least at a high level, man. I think a lot of EQing honestly involves listening, and is less about technique and more around like knowing which frequency is where when you hear it, right? Like knowing where resonances live and being able to kind of, and best practices. Like I sent Aiden a clip of 12-string guitar recorded in mid-side with a couple of NT2As. Which sounds really good. It's a really good sound. It has a lot of detail.
So good.
Yeah, you liked it. And it's funny because I sent Aiden a processed version. And then he was like, yeah, man, oh my God, that's the best sounding guitar ever. I said, no, it's fucking not. And then I send him a picture of the EQ curve.
Yeah, I can actually get that.
Yeah, you should pull that up just for Facebook. Like the stuff that's on there. And yeah, there's stuff that's canceling itself out. But did you notice how when I did the gain matched back and forth comparison, there was like a texture that was changing, but the level and the overall, like the guitar was very similar. And like the amount of things it takes to get something that's very similar is shocking. But very similar, but better is basically subtracting all the things that are annoying about the unprocessed version.
Yeah, I've got it.
And I mean, like I used this guitar. This is a J200 style big body 12 string. This is an Epiphone version, and it's got a good It's got a fat sound. I don't know how the MKH made that sound. I have no call.
This
No
is
concept.
Dylan's EQ curve for a 12-string guitar. Just in
Yeah,
case you're wondering how to EQ
so
a guitar.
there is a lot of nodes there. And so my first lesson about EQ, and this is don't learn from me in this image. This is horrible practice. But it got the job done. It makes it sound good. So fuck it. But use as few nodes as you have to. That is my if I'm gonna give some free advice right here with EQing anything. A voice, a music bed, a master bus on a podcast, anything. Do not get your head set in like, oh my God, it's a 6-band EQ. I got to use all of them. Don't get stuck into that mindset. Use one band. If one band solves the problem that you're hearing or the thing that you're trying to deal with, leave all the other bands off. I find lots of people will overcomplicate EQ. In this case, the thing is right, the reason things like EQs exist is because the world is not perfect. If you were in the perfect room with the perfect player on the perfect instrument, in the perfect studio, going through the perfect mic preamp, going into the perfect recording source, you shouldn't need EQ ever. But the reality is we're in rooms that are suboptimal, sometimes on, now this was 2 NT2As going into 2 Neve 1073 preamps. So pretty good case scenario in terms of the capture. The capture is good. But in my case, the room has lots of, and the guitar itself, it's a bigger guitar. And that's so I can get like, and I'm sure you heard like the low D was, it felt like there was a bass there because there was so much low end. So that is, in that picture that Aiden's got up, you can see there's that one green node that's like shooting up there like 9 dB, which is a decent little jog to the signal. That is right in that low D. That is basically only, I think it's the low D and a few semitones above it that I'm soloing out and I'm listening for. And then I'm grabbing those and boosting the shit out of them because I find this guitar doesn't project those low notes, even though it's a very big guitar. So acoustically, it's pretty well equipped to output lower frequencies. But for some reason, that low D, which is this kind of, when I'm playing chords and stuff proportional to the rest of what's happening with the guitar, like when I go like,
I find actually not bad with an MKH 416.
Now, I was gonna say, I don't know. There's a bunch of processing on this mic already, and so that might be actually helping me out in that case. It is a gorgeous guitar in person. So when I EQ'd that, when I applied that EQ curve, what I was listening for with my Beyer Dynamic DT 1990 headphones was what I hear when I'm playing it. I was looking for that kind of frequency response. And so I dealt with anything that was not perceptually what I hear when I'm playing that instrument. And so I don't know. That's the benefit sometimes of being the musician that is recording. There's drawbacks to being the musician recording themselves. Absolutely there is. But one of the benefits is you have a real good sense of how you want the instrument to sound and maybe what it should sound like.
Don't give too much away from your program, though.
No. I mean, but the main thing I'll leave there, and again, with that contradictory image aside, use as few nodes as you need to. I'm lucky that I have FabFilter, which when you start it open has no nodes, and then so you add one, and you're not presented with a bunch of parameters for 10 different nodes like the Waves Q10. It kind of lets you. The EQ scales with you, and I kind of like that. But in that case, I kept noticing on particular chords, resonances on particular notes. And so there's a lot of really fine boosts and cuts in there because when I'm listening to it, I'm hearing these like sine wave resonances in certain spots. And I'm like, no. If you hear something that sounds like a sine wave, that's going to be a pretty narrow EQ node to eliminate. Again, I should shut up. I'm just giving everything away. That's going to be this.
That's one of the best things I remember. So my EQ journey has been long and not as fruitful as I wanted.
Your EQ journey is so pretentious.
Well, it's
EQ
true,
is a tool, right? Like it's not a career path,
but it's a journey to learn how to use it. You don't just sit down and read a book and you're fine. You need to train yourself to use EQ. And one of the
Well,
best
I
pieces
think
of advice came from you, and you told me three. You need
three
a low,
bands.
mid,
Yep,
a
yep,
high for voice.
yep.
And if you can do that, you're fine. And that's where I started with, is like a low, a mid, a high.
And that's good advice. Most kind of bass to intermediate analog mixers that you'll come across will have a 3-band EQ, maybe a 3-band EQ with a sweepable mid. That's real cool. But at least a 3-band EQ. And so that gives you a clue that, like, in most contexts, I should be able to get the voice mostly in the direction that it needs to go with 3 bands, ideally with no bands. Again, EQs are made because we live in an imperfect world. That is why EQs are made. And I think the problem and the reason why EQing is so difficult is EQ stands for equalizer. It is an equalizer, and in order to use an equalizer, you have to know what something equalized sounds like. That is what is so hard about EQing. Is EQ is used to equalize the sound, which is a completely subjective term.
Yep.
There is no one equalized, you can apply noise curves and like impulse responses and measure it against it all day long. But at the end of the day, you have to know what that sounds like for yourself, because when you're turning those knobs, you're trying to adjust the sound to get away from something and towards something else. And you have to have a real clear idea in your head of what that something else is.
Yep. Yeah, so we'll let you save some for the course. I'm
Yeah, I was
actually
gonna
looking
say,
forward
yeah,
to
no,
that.
I enjoy this free lesson for those that showed up.
I get free access to the course, so haha.
Yeah,
But
well, you also get
everyone
free
else is
access to me, so fuck you. Um,
everyone else is gonna have to pay. Pascal Gala, I just wanted to highlight this one thing. And this is first few years I played guitar at church. I was terrible and I had no formal training, only played by ear. It was so awkward. Um, part of the process of getting better at anything is the ability in a performance, that is the ability to perform and the ability to just start performing. Until you perform, any guitarist that sits in his bedroom and just sits and plays along with Ozzy can only get so far. It's when you get in front of people, when you experience what music was created for, or any kind of presentation, any kind of performance, you will never ever be able to cross a certain threshold. And you can only cross that threshold with performance. And you have to start out at 0. There's nobody that starts out at 10 or 20. And like anybody that's trying this, you are further along than 95% of the people in the world as long as you start. That's literally every skill set that you will ever have. You will be ahead of everyone else as long as you start. So jump up in church and play the guitar, hopefully with a little bit of ear training at first. But also I learned by ear as well.
yep, same.
It took several years for me to actually get into theory. So learning by ear isn't a bad thing necessarily. We are way behind on comments. I'm just gonna
Skip
see
on
what I got.
ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry if we missed you. Or I'm the guilty rambler always.
Oh no, that's okay.
My natural.
This is a good one. Rick on Mike. I have a special kind of hate for AI YouTube channels. I think YouTube is starting to
Clamp down on that shit.
clamp down on a few. I
Mhm.
will say that I've been noticing a lot. There's something. So making content is literally every piece of content that I've ever done, whether it's podcasting, whether it's newscast, whether it's music, it all comes down to storytelling. That's the skill set. The only difference between you and Barbara Walters is the ability to tell a story as well as she can. And
Yep.
I probably don't look as good in a miniskirt, but not the point, right? Like the storytelling aspect of it, which is what a lot of AI generating channels don't have, is that storytelling ability. And I find when I'm watching it, the worst offender is that lack of storytelling that makes me turn it off. It's not even the voice. If you can tell me a great story with an AI voice, I'll listen.
Right.
I just find that most of them don't, because they're literally mass produced. So having somebody's hand on a script really really makes a difference. So yeah, I'm not too concerned about AI taking my job, but we'll see. Oh, this can somebody share with me a professional script? I've never seen one and would like to put eyes on an actual one, like an industry standard script.
Depends. I got scripts I can. It depends what kind of script. Like, you mean a movie script? Like what
Well,
kind of
that's not a
script?
script, that's a screenplay.
No, but
So
like the for like the narrator,
voiceover, I'm guessing.
the narrator in a film. They
Um,
provide a script if there are narrated
yeah.
parts in a film. They provide script.
So
Um,
there's no action. So there's a professional standard for scripting like in movies, in radio. Even radio even has like a standard for scripts. Um, there really
Jesus,
is no standard outside of
I
that.
gotta have hundreds of those. Well,
Yeah,
thousands, in
exactly.
fact.
But there's no standard outside, which trips a lot of people up. And I've got a lot of this in my own how to podcast. So I'm not going to give too much away because a lot of this is actual like industry specific that you'll never learn anywhere else. But the best thing I will tell you is learn to use specific punctuation to tell you what you're reading. So for me, I use, if you've ever seen me write on Discord or anything, my writing's full of ellipses,
Yep, he loves the dot
and
dot dot. Yep.
ellipses tell me when to breathe. So when I'm doing a script and I see an ellipses, I know that's a pause. So if I'm also, what I'll do is, if I'm, because you also write sentence at a time, you don't write in paragraphs when you're doing scripts. So if one sentence doesn't lead into the next sentence, I use a period. If it leads into the next sentence, I use an ellipses. If there's if it goes to a completely different subject, there's a space. So you learn to use a lot of those brain triggers in scripting. That's the most important thing you need to do. And most people I know will take their script, their quote unquote professional script, and they will actually put it into a format that their brain can read, and then they'll read it. So very few people take the professional script and just start reading, because I don't know how many script writers I've seen where it's like, why do you have a fucking comma in your script?
Oh,
Commas
dude,
don't mean shit.
I've worked with people that have used semicolons. I've
Oh
worked with people that have
fuck.
used ellipses, M dashes, and N dashes. That one's my favorite.
Oh my god.
More so at the M dash, because they will be used M dash, and then three dots. And I'm like,
Yeah. It's
what's the difference?
so, and I ran into this when I was doing Minds of Madness, because there's multiple writers doing scripts. Tyler's uh he's performing them, but they would use things like dashes. And I'm like, okay, so I'm pacing the guy out. What the hell's a dash? So I had to actually like learn the pace of a dash. Then I had to learn the pace of an ellipses and this and that. So I mean, multiple different realities when it comes to scripting. Find one that you really like and go with that. I can honestly say professional scripts aren't going to help you that much, because
No,
they usually don't have that in them.
there's so much variance. One writer to the next. Like I worked for a company that had like probably 30 or 40 commercial writers at a time. And every single one of them had a different fucking font sometimes that they would use, like, let alone any kind of standardization. But it always made sense.
Yeah.
It always made sense. And I found that always, like, there was times, again, I used like the M dash ellipsis kind of example of like, okay, well, there's fucking obviously a difference between those things. What you have to kind of almost self-interpret in those scenarios. And like, okay, well, looking at how they're written and imagining in my head how I would imagine that to be said. And then you try to hear it, and usually your gut will be right. If you've listened to enough of what you're trying to perform, then your gut will usually guide you in the right direction in terms of like how to interpret some of those symbols, because your writer isn't going to do necessarily something absolutely ridiculous. And most of the time, if they are, they're going to tell you. They're going to be like, hey, this is weird because this. And you're like, all right, I will keep that in mind. I remember one time a guy sent me a music band and was like, hey, can we do like a Beatles style jingle on this? I'm like, what? And we did a hydro spot for London Hydro that was like with me doing like, yeah, when the power goes out, you know, and it was fucking funny. But he was like, yeah, see, that's he's like, I don't, there's other words now having heard that I would have, but that was what I had in mind. I'm like, hey, yeah, I was trying to, again, play the part that you maybe were imagining, even though it wasn't exactly what you had said that you were imagining.
Okay, so we got Sun Turtle Camper 42 says, quick hello and happy new year from Denmark. Cheers from Canada.
Yeah, and like again, so the scripts things, just to tie that up real quick. I can provide scripts. Thing is, they will be literally different everywhere that you go. Yeah, I worked for a company that had stations in many cities. One city to the next, the format was completely different. It had all the same information, but everything else about it was different. So I don't know that like just Google. When Rick on Mike said you can Google scripts online.
Yeah, Google them.
Do that. Google. In fact, you can get Google to just write you scripts. Like they won't be awesome. They won't be awesome scripts, but I mean, if you're just looking for things to read that are like a spot.
I like it. UK says, is the NT2A worth getting? I have the NT1 signature. So it's always worth getting if you need multiple.
I love it. He's like, I'm not even gonna let you talk. I'm just gonna.
Oh no. I'll let you sign in on this. Well, I mean, you work for the Friedman Group. So Dylan, should he get an NT2A? And do you get any money if you say yes? That's what I want to know.
No, I do not get any money for any. No. My whole role is to be as honest as humanly possible. That is literally my job.
I kid. So the NT2A is a great microphone. It was my first voiceover mic. Had I known back in the day for just strictly voiceover, I would have went with the NT1 and saved myself some money. I did not know I bought the NT2A thinking, well, the extra polar patterns, the pads might come in handy. And for me, like with a foundational microphone for a studio, it's a great buy if you're going to be using it in multiple different ways. If you're using just a microphone to get a great sound out of, the NT1 is a bloody fantastic microphone. And the NT2A isn't going to outshine it like enough to justify the price unless you need those polar patterns. Dylan, am I on the right path?
I would tend to agree with that. There's the NT2A offers a ton of flexibility for the very technical microphone user, the person that needs, like in my case, as we were kind of teasing earlier, right behind me, I've got a very meticulously placed pair of NT2As that are in a mid-side arrangement, and so you cannot do a mid-side arrangement with an NT1. No. That is electrically impossible to do a mid-side arrangement with an NT1.
Well, you can use the cardioid portion of it.
Yes, you can get a mono signal aid, and yes, that is correct. I mean, So I should say, so you can't do a mid-side arrangement with two NT1s. You can do stereo miking with two NT1s. Obviously, you have two microphones. Yes. You can always do.
No, I was saying the cardioid role of the mid-side can be used with the NT1, so it can partake into the mid-side.
Yeah, I am real anal, and I'm finding that apparently I'm the only person because I keep talking to people that are sound engineers. I'm like, I love mid-side. They're like, I've never used it. Is it good? I'm like, yeah, it's fucking awesome. Like, well, Aiden, you listened to that clip I sent you on headphones, hopefully. How did you find the stereo image?
It was awesome.
Right.
And I like AB. I also like.
I like AB because there's no math involved. It's like throw one mic on one side of it, throw the other mic on the other side of it. There we go.
Some math involved. Shut up. You've got the rule of.
You've got to make sure that. Well, I mean, you don't have to make sure, but
it's a 3-to-1 rule.
What?
3-to-1 rule. So
or just making sure that the two mics are equidistant from the sound source, so you don't get weird phasing issues if you mono some.
Yeah. But I prefer the sound. I prefer doing AB. I prefer the sound of mid-side. But for you to be anal of the, like, I've done a couple videos where I threw together some mid-side, and I'm not anal about the placement. Like, I'm not like
they don't have to be that crazy. My thing was I've always wanted to do. I just recently got this second NT2A. I've always wanted, just for shits, to do a mid-side pairing array with the NT2A just to see how the
Right.
off-axis holds up, because the mid-side really does kind of demonstrate the off-axis performance on the
Oh no, I
sides.
was gonna say, do you have my NT2A? But I've got mine right here.
Yeah, no, you got yours. And my big thing of it is, again, the biggest challenge that I have with like XY and some, well, not, I mean XY if it's properly, but again, XY is another one where you've got to be very
Yeah.
meticulous
Mhm.
about where those, or you could buy the Rode NT4, which has that already, pre-configured, or
I
the
can hear the
Zoom,
money going into your wallet.
or the Zoom H fucking one. Like all of them have a mid-side pair on them. So what was I going to say? The mid-side collapses to mono really well.
Yeah.
So when it collapses down to mono, you don't get any phasing issues because your side information completely cancels out. Which is kind of cool. I don't know. I mentioned that in the email. Did you try to?
Yep.
And how did it? Was it the same level and everything?
Yep.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it still sounds clear. It doesn't sound like there's two guitars slightly, one in front of the other.
No.
I find XY sometimes, even if it's placed like off axis from the sound source for whatever reason, you get these phasing issues sometimes. You shouldn't, but you do.
This is my puppy Izzy, everybody. The
Hey, Izzy.
Thorn in my ass over the holidays, sweetheart.
That's just a perpetual state of being for you.
Just doing a live stream. Love you though. Don't pee on the floor. Okay, really quick. We got a few minutes here, and I gotta go because I'm going for dinner. Jerker, question.
Jerker.
Sorry it's late. I got busy. How much do you guys think AI occupies NAB and the likes? How much percentage of the new interfaces or the likes will have some sort of AI powered in it? I know I can speak from my conversations with several companies. Every single company that I know of has at some point, when talking to them at NAB, I'm talking about the companies I talked to at NAB, every single one of them has mentioned AI as part of their roadmap forward.
AI is everybody's favorite toy now, man.
But it's also in things that aren't labeled AI. And I think that's the thing that people have to understand is there's, when you look at the auto gain feature, technically it's AI because it's learning from
its
environment.
It's machine learning.
But
it is the kind of the foundational block that kind of makes AI work to a degree is machine learning, and it is machine learning.
Yes. And that's the stuff that a lot of companies are working towards. You have to remember something. For AI to exist, AI does not create anything out of thin air.
And nothing good, anyway.
No. Well, no, everything that's created by AI online, whether you're using Sora, whether you're using ChatGPT,
it's all derived from something. Yeah.
Yeah, Suno. I've been using Suno a little bit for messing around.
Oh, really? Oh, man, you got to tell me about that adventure.
It's all created off of the backs of other people. All of it. There's nothing new being created. So AI, when it comes to like interfaces, is machine learning. But I do know that every company I've talked to at NAB has some idea of where they want to go with AI. A lot of that I've talked to usually comes up with auto EQ, auto compression, kind of like a learning algorithm for compression, a learning algorithm for EQ. But again, AI, machine learning, are algorithms and learning algorithms that can adapt.
Well, and honestly, that stuff isn't new. Like iZotope has been doing that for a decade. Like,
yeah. That's what I think a lot of people don't understand when it comes to AI is you've been dealing, a lot of YouTube has been AI for a long time. The algorithm has been learning and adapting and creating playlists and doing all this stuff without human intervention for a long time. We've been talking to AI when you talk to the virtual assistant for a company when you've been on their website a little too long. So like it's been happening, it is happening, and it's going to extend.
It's always learning, and it's very creepy.
I'm a little disappointed in companies like Adobe, though, who are only leaning into AI, where they're leaving other aspects behind in creating a better workflow, but they're only leaning into AI and they're
Yeah,
only
well, we will
expanding.
we will throw Adobe into the same prison that we throw the RAM companies into.
Yeah, basically. I'm gonna have to go soon because I do have to do dinner. Does my dog do microphone tests? She doesn't even bark.
You got
She's
to make
absolute
that a
sweetheart.
thing. You got to somehow. That's got to be a thing.
The dog sniff test. Ask John Connor about AI. Yeah, no kidding. Suno is fun as hell to play with. Yes, it is. It is also incredibly good. I've been tasked with, I'm working with some people that want me to use it for their product. And I mean, when you're being paid to do stuff, you do stuff. So I have been kind of wading through with this new client, I should point out, to kind of flesh it out and see what it can do. And man, is it ever powerful. And I can see it in the future taking the place of things like Epidemic Sound and audio libraries. The weird thing about it though is you will notice somebody was saying on Suno, because it's kind of a social media site as well. Somebody was saying that they saw one of their songs that they quote unquote created in Suno was being used in an advertisement. Like a large company used their song in an advertisement. And
Yep.
it's like, that's what happens. And my dog is destroying the house upstairs. Good God. So yeah, there's a lot of downfalls, and I know Dylan's probably gonna want to smack my hand as soon as I get off this call.
No,
What are you
no,
doing?
no, no. I mean, what it's so like the story, a very quick story, but my partner like last year at some point showed me an Instagram feed that was this company that sold antiques. It was an antique store. And
Mhm.
this antique store, their whole kind of shtick on social media was they had these dumb jingles that they did. Like they had this one thing that was like a blue glass horse's head, a very small, top part of a horse. And it was this country song that was a super hilarious, super believable jingle about a glass horse's head. And I just remember sitting there going, I am so happy a human being did not waste their life on this.
Right?
Like there is really bottom of the barrel shit that I am super happy that Suno, a computer, like having done some jingles for very interesting organizations that I'm like, I spent how many hours coming up with this fucking set of lines? Jesus. And then now we can just get a computer to do that. And it honestly frees up professionals like myself who are flexible to do bigger, more meaningful things
Yeah, like
with our time.
I don't see a James Cameron movie being scored by AI.
No,
Um,
man, that's it. Like when you see like people, you've seen these, Aiden, like these commercials with these car commercials with like, hey, this commercial was done entirely with AI, and it's
yeah,
this gorgeous commercial with like, and the flowers are sprouting out of the walls and stuff, and you're like, oh my god. But the thing is a person had to sit there and meticulously sculpt that prompt.
yeah,
Everything that was in that video was conjured by a person and executed by an AI. You
yes,
still needed somebody to actually sit there and write out that creative vision in a
and
way
then
that a
rewrite
computer could
it.
interpret.
Yeah, and then rewrite it, and then read. Yeah,
Yeah,
one
exactly.
of
And
the
then rewrite it over and over and over again. To have no illusions that AI image generators or video generators will immediately always get exactly what you want the first time. Jesus,
oh
the amount
god,
of revisions I have fed
the
into like image GPT or nano banana or any
yeah,
of these just to try to get a specific thing out of you. Um, like I saw one that was like the chicken fried rice conundrum. It was like get chicken fried rice and there was always peas in it. It's like, hey, take the peas out. And now there's bananas in it. It's like, no, 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 no. Remove the bananas and don't put the peas back in. And then for some reason, there's an old man with his hand in the rice. And you're like, no,
my
that's not what I
yeah,
wanted.
the guy on it was you and I started watching that guy on Instagram, the director.
Yeah. Oh, man,
I'm
that's
addicted
great.
to that.
Yeah,
I'm
trying to get
addicted to that.
actors to do what you want them to
Yeah.
do, and it's like, oh my god.
My
No.
favorite thing with Suno, I think it's Suno,
Yep.
is I didn't know where to put the prompt, and I accidentally put the prompt into the lyrics, and I generated it with the prompt, and
That's
so it
awesome.
actually sang the prompt
Saying
to
the
me.
prompt. That's
I will
great.
send you that. It's fucking hilarious.
That is no, yeah, please
Because
do. That sounds
It's
hilarious.
really well done, but then they're singing this
singing
stupid
the
prompt, and I'm
prompt.
like, what did I do wrong? Anyways.
What was the style? Because you didn't put a prompt in.
Moods, but everything, it kind of got the gist out of the lyrics, I guess.
Right.
So it took the lyrics and it was like, okay, we're gonna be going to, yeah, I'll send it to you. You'll find it.
Yeah,
funny.
man, that sounds awesome.
All right, guys, that's it for this one. Dylan's out of town next week. I may do a solo live stream just to make up for it, but Izzy needs to go pee. She's telling me right now and chewing on my hand. We will see you at least in 2 weeks, possibly next week. Have yourself a good one, guys.
Catch you next week.
Izzy, no, you
Not
can't
for me,
eat that.
obviously.